more.
In the morning, you gon' wake up in the morning. I'm talking right now.
You're about to experience a morning show unlike any other.
Shout out to the Breakfast Club. I listen to y'all every morning.
What you guys are doing right now, it's the hub culture.
The Breakfast Club is my morning sit. I need it and I love it so much.
I feel like you really not popping until you do the Breakfast Club.
I've been waiting to come to y'all show, man. I know you gotta be a big time celebrity to be up in here. You gotta be big time.
DJ Envy, Angela Yee, and Charlamagne the God.
The Breakfast Club, bitches.
Good morning, USA.
Yo 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 yo.
Good morning, Angela Yee.
Good morning, DJ Envy.
Charlamagne the God.
Peace to the planet. It's Friday. Good morning. What's happening? How y'all feeling out there? We thank God for it all. Take a deep breath for everybody out there who can't. What's going on?
I am happy the weekend is here, brother.
The weekend is definitely here. Weekend was here since yesterday, though. It's all about perspective.
Nah, it's here today. Today is the day, boy. Today is the day, and I'm excited about that. How y'all feeling?
Why is
I'm
today
tired.
the day? What you know that we don't know?
No. I mean, not like today's the day, like it's D-Day, like it's a wrap. And I mean, like, I'm tired. Like, yesterday I'm in LA right now for Super Bowl. I'm out here DJing, working, and I'm going to the Super Bowl on Sunday. But yesterday I had the first stop in Houston. I'm doing car show season is starting back up, and Houston is one of the new markets that I'm doing the car show in. So I had to go to Houston before the rodeo came in town so I can actually see the space. So I flew to Houston for a couple of hours, seeing the space at the NRG Stadium. And then after that, I got back on a plane and flew to LA. So it's been a lot of traveling, a lot of running around. And I'm happy I could just relax today. After the show's over, I'm going back to bed, brother.
Well,
Yeah,
congratulations.
that time difference in LA can really be crazy because, the show is on the East Coast at 6 a.m., but in LA, that's 3 a.m.
But the energy, I would say, is great in LA. When I landed, I think I landed at about 10 o'clock at night.
Hey, what I see. Everybody I see posting stuff like violence, tuck your chain this weekend,
Well, I was about
look
to say
alive.
I was about to say when I got to the airport, everybody was cheering and happy, and everybody, like you could tell there was a lot of Rams fans there. And then when I got to the hotel all night, I kept hearing sirens. So I guess it's a little bit of both. I guess it's a little bit of excitement and a little bit of action. So
it's probably two different worlds, two different perspectives. You got some people there that's there for the Super Bowl, and you got some people there that's there for the violence. Some people, listen, it's a lot of people there that's going to be looking for quick come ups this weekend.
Absolutely.
So
I just want to let everybody know I got $3 in my pocket, no jewelry, no watch, and that's it. So if you try to rob me, it's practicing.
Yeah, so I tend to listen to the people who actually live there, the natives. You know what I mean? Who really know what's going on the ground.
Yep.
I tend to listen to them, not the tourists.
Yeah, so if you want to practice, you can, all day long. Give me what you got. Here's $2. All right, thank you. I ain't got nothing. So just letting you know. Just letting you know. But yeah, they are saying be very careful if you're moving around. Make sure you move around safe with a bunch of people. Don't go anywhere because it is stick-up season.
When you say a bunch of people,
tough.
like who are you talking to? Because you don't mean like regular people. Who do you mean? You talking about celebrities, athletes? Who you talking about? A bunch of people?
You remember when the police put out that memo and said we can't protect you? You're on your own, so be smart, be careful, and if you got anything valuable, don't wear it. You remember when the police put that statement out?
Yeah, but you said a bunch of people. I'm just like, who's rolling around with a bunch of people?
That's one.
Everybody don't have an entourage.
Well, that's what. Oh, you mean moving around with a bunch of people?
Yes,
Oh, yeah.
It's not
so
just.
that means leave your ass at home.
Yeah, it's not just celebrities and athletes in the Super Bowl in LA this weekend. Everybody look alive. Yes,
just be careful if you're out here. What about you? Yeah, you still in Detroit shooting that movie that flick?
Yeah, I actually been out here every day, just doing like a couple of scenes for this movie my friend Dennis Reed is doing out here. So I'm doing a little role, but it's a lot of work. So every time you watch a movie now, I'm looking at it like how every single scene has to be shot several times from different angles. Mm-hmm. It's like a very long process of waiting around and then reshooting scenes over and over and over and over and over again. But I'll be home today.
Y'all popping. Okay. I didn't do nothing yesterday but watch ESPN. And watch James Harden get shit sent to the Sixers and Ben Simmons get sent to the Nets.
Well, we'll talk about that in front page.
I watched that on the phone yesterday. And I do want to shout out to Central Kitchen out here, too. They sell my coffee as a espresso martini, my cup coffee. So I went there yesterday for dinner. Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, let's get the show cracking. Gary Chambers Jr. will be joining us. He's running for Louisiana Senate. And he'll be joining us. You might know him recently he had a video go viral. When he announced he was running, he was smoking some weed and people were in arms. So
And this
that
week
brother's going to be joining us this morning.
And this week he burnt the Confederate flag. I like Gary Chambers Jr. a lot because he is the change. He's being the change he wants to see in politics. So can't wait to talk to him.
Absolutely. All right. And we'll get into that. And also today, Major Hype. All right. Major Hype, comedian, Caribbean comedian. He's going to be performing in New York City all weekend long for Valentine's Day. Actually, just for Sunday for his big show. So we'll be talking to Major Hype later on as well. But let's get the show cracking. Front page news, what we talking?
Well, let's talk about White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki has addressed the inaccurate reporting on the, quote, $30 million in federal grants that are going to be used to supply free crack pipes. She said that is not true.
Oh, God. Why are they holding on to this?
All right. Well, we'll get into that next. It's the Breakfast Club. Good morning. Morning, everybody. It's DJ Envy, Angela Yee, Charlamagne the Guy. We are the Breakfast Club. Let's get in some front page news. All right. Now, yesterday was the NBA trade deadline, and everybody was talking about the trade. James Harden for Ben Simmons, and who else was part of that deal?
Andre Drummond, Seth Curry. So the Nets got Seth Curry, Andre Drummond, and 2 first-round draft picks, and the Sixers got James Harden and Paul Millsap.
Millsap, yeah.
Yes.
People are saying it's not actually a bad deal for Brooklyn if Ben Simmons comes to play. They're saying Ben Simmons is a great player. They're saying Seth Curry gets busy. And they said it's not a bad deal for Brooklyn.
Oh, the Nets absolutely won that deal. And the reason
I'm not mad at it.
Yeah, the Nets won that deal.
Drummond gets busy too.
They got 2 first-round picks. They got 2 first-round picks, and they got Seth Curry. So that's a great deal.
Seth Curry,
and people will say that the team will be more balanced now.
Yeah, that's what they're saying. So that's
but we are letting Nets fans off the hook a little easy because boy, y'all had a parade planned in Brooklyn, and we told y'all this wasn't going to work. That James Harden, Kyrie Irving, Kevin Durant combination. But boy, y'all had already planned a parade in Brooklyn last year, didn't y'all?
Well, I will say this.
Well, a lot of things happened.
They
The
only played
pandemic,
16
Kyrie
games with
wasn't
each other.
playing.
Yeah, they only played 16 games. It was 13-3 when the big three were playing. They only played 16 games out of what, a year and a half with each other. So there's no way to really tell.
Yes, there was. If you watch basketball, so many people predicted that wouldn't work. I
13-3. I knew injuries and everything else.
Even with them on the court, I didn't think that was going to work. It's not enough balls to go around, and they don't play no defense. It's like, come on.
They were 13-3 when they were together on the court.
Well, I know one thing. Ben Simmons, if he comes back and he plays right and his mind is right, he's going to make them a better defensive team immediately. So will Andre Drummond. That is a fact.
All right. What else we got, Yeezy?
All right. Well, you saw a lot of headlines. The White House is going to be supplying free crack pipes to drug users with the new plan that they're doing for $30 million in federal grants. White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki has addressed what she is calling inaccurate reporting on this topic. These are harm reduction programs, and she discusses what is actually contained in that safe smoking kit. Here's what she had to say.
They were never part of the kit. It was inaccurate reporting, and we wanted to put out information to make that clear.
What is in the safe smoking kit?
A safe smoking kit may contain alcohol swabs, lip balm, other materials to promote hygiene and reduce the transmission of diseases like HIV and hepatitis. I would note that what we're really talking about here is steps that we're taking as a federal government to address the opioid epidemic, which is killing tens of thousands, if not more, Americans every single day, week, month of the year.
I don't even know what they're talking about anymore. Because the full $30 million grant, yes, all she had to do is say it's not, just towards crack pipes, but the grant description does require the provision of smoking kits, and those kits constitute just one of several subcomponents of a long list. So yes, it's a very small part of a larger program. But when you look in that smoking kit, there is this blue tube that looks a lot like a pipe. So
well, she did say all of that, but then they did ask what's in the smoking kit in particular. But she did describe everything else that's happening
have you seen
in
this
harm
kit?
reduction program. Yes.
And you don't think that thing looks like a pipe?
It does.
I mean,
Yes.
I'm just telling you what she said. She said it's not a crack.
Says. We got eyes.
People are saying it's a crack pipe, but she's saying that it's not a crack pipe.
I mean, she may not call it a crack pipe because, crack pipe is more so slang than anything, but that is some type of tube that you would smoke crack in. So
right,
whatever you want to call it.
There's no pipes in safe smoking kits. The goal of harm reduction is to save lives.
Yes, that is very true. All of that is very true. But they're acting like this is not a small part of a larger program. It is a small part of a larger program. Like whether people want to name it crack pipes or whatever, it's a tube to smoke crack in. Like, what's the problem?
I think what she was trying to do was correct all the headlines that say things like Biden crime policy, crack pipes for all, what could go wrong? Or they're spending $30 million to send meth and crack pipes to minority communities in the name of racial equity.
And that's not true. That's not true. It's just
that's what she's saying. Yeah.
But it is a very small part of a larger program. They're just not doing a good job of describing the larger program because Democrats suck at messaging. Simple as that.
Well, that is your front page news. Now, get it off your chest. 800-585-1051. If you need to vent, hit us up right now. Phone lines are wide open again. 800-585-1051. It's The Breakfast Club. Good morning.
The Breakfast Club. This is your time to get it off your chest, whether you're mad or blessed.
So you better have the same energy.
We want to hear from you on The Breakfast Club.
Hello, who's this?
Hi, this is Monica from Brooklyn.
Hey, Monica.
Peace,
from Brooklyn.
Monica.
Get it off your chest.
Hi, so I just wanted to speak about that whole drug thing you guys were just talking about with the crack pipe.
The harm reduction program.
Yeah, that. And maybe the messaging just needs to be clearer because I don't see how it's fair that we're spending $30 million on this, but we're not addressing, again, like the student loan issues. We're not giving, people who are in debt who worked hard, like any type of assistance. So I just don't understand what's happening and who's making these decisions about how the money should be allocated. This doesn't seem fair to me.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's actually a good program. I personally wish that, they would spend more money on, rehabilitation and mental health services. But, a lot of people aren't willing to just go out there and get help. So this harm reduction program could be a first step to them getting rehabilitation. But they're just not doing a good job of describing the larger program. That's it.
Very
They
true.
should do something with Euphoria.
Maybe.
They're doing something with Euphoria?
The show Euphoria, I'm saying, because that's kind of the point of the show is Zendaya. That would be a great ad for it.
Maybe. That's not a bad idea.
Well, that's the thing. I'm a teacher, and I just feel like maybe we can start some more interventions with young people in the schools and start putting money into our schools versus into, like, the problem. Like, let's be more proactive and avoid these problems.
I agree with that, too.
That was all.
Thank you, Queen.
For calling. You too, no mama. Hello, who's this?
Hey, how's it going? Is Envy?
Hey, what's up, brother?
What's going on? It's Miguel.
Miguel, what up, man?
What up, Miguel? Why you calling up here like we know you, King?
What's up, Angela Yee?
Peace, King. How you?
Good morning. How are you?
Good morning, Angela Lee. I'm sorry. I'm coming for you. I got to get off my chest. You got to stop fighting for the Democrats. Somebody says something about them, you always back them up. Sweetie, stop it already. You got to break up with that relationship.
I can support whoever I want and believe what I want, right? Just like you can.
Yeah, you can. You can, and I know you do. And I grew up Democrat also, but it's just like this country only has two parties, and it's just not fair. You can vote keep going back to the Democrats and Republicans. I don't want either. I'm a chameleon. You got to be a chameleon.
You should start the funny party. I've seen people say they want Dave Chappelle to run for president. I've seen people say they want Joe Rogan to run for president. They both comedians.
I guess his phone didn't want anybody to run for president. But get it off your chest. 800-585-1051. If you need to vent, hit us up right now. Phone lines are wide open. It's The Breakfast Club. Good morning.
The Breakfast Club.
I'm dialing. Hey, what you doing, man? I'm dialing. I'm calling you.
This is your time to get it off your chest, whether you're mad or blessed. 800-585-1051. We want to hear from you on The Breakfast Club.
Hello, who's this?
Yo, what's good? This is Jermaine out of Atlanta by way of Harlem.
Jermaine, what's happening, King?
Get it off your chest.
What's going on? I wanted to propose something to you guys, see what y'all thought of it. It's based on the conversation y'all was having yesterday about economics in our community and that kind of stuff. At the end of the day, we have to lean into where we are celebrated and not tolerated, like Charlamagne always say.
Yes, sir.
So, what if we do a program where, we take a product made by the community, promote it, get a million units of it sold by us.
I like that idea.
Post the product once every month, every 3 months, whatever, and everybody in the community, even our allies, it don't just have to be black.
Go support
that product and buy a million units of that product, so that business could at least have that kind of start to get off the ground and get something popping.
I like that idea. To be honest with you, we wouldn't even need a million. You buy 100,000 of somebody's product.
You can change.
You know what I'm saying? You change their life.
Yeah,
we don't own
definitely.
the raw materials to produce stuff, so we have to partner up with these other coaches in order to get our products produced. So why not?
You're right, and I agree. I mean, Charlamagne and I were talking to shout to John Cohen. He's one of the only black NASCAR owner. Yeah, the only black NASCAR owner. The brother's from Newark, New Jersey, and he we gonna get him on probably next week. He was talking about how difficult it is for him to be an owner in NASCAR, not having the capital as everybody else, not having the support as everybody else, and a lot of times we don't watch NASCAR. But like he said, we make everything sexy, and we definitely got to support him. His company is New York Racing, so you can definitely check him out. Let's go to another caller. Yo, what's up? Who's this?
It's Stevie Steve, the comedian from Delaware. How y'all doing? Happy Friday.
Steve, what's happening, King?
What up, brother?
Nothing too much. Hey, man, how y'all don't have Miss Pat on this week? Her comedy special dropped on Netflix.
I don't know, man. I was thinking the same thing. I can't wait to see Miss Pat, man. I can't wait to watch that special. No, I'm going to watch it this weekend.
I watched it 3 times already. It's hilarious.
Hilarious?
Man.
Oh, man. We got to
shout to Miss Pat. I'm going to hit her now,
too. Got the ball on this one at all.
I got to watch it. We got to watch. I'm going to watch this
what
weekend.
Happened to Miss Pat? She usually come up here. I wonder, maybe she got busy because she's taping.
No. You know what?
She does a radio show.
She does the radio
now.
show. Yeah, and she's about to start shooting her second season of her sitcom.
Yeah. Her sitcom funny too.
Yeah, Miss Pat is busy.
Miss Pat, listen, man, God got her hands on Miss Pat in a real way.
Shout out to all the crack babies. That's Miss Pat fans. I'm a crack baby.
And shout out to Miss Pat. Yeah, February 8th, her Netflix special came out. It's called Miss Pat. Y'all want to hear something crazy? Make sure y'all go get it. Get it. Make sure y'all go support it and support Miss Pat. I'm going to hit Miss Pat right now.
I'm sending her a good morning text right now.
All right. Get it off your chest. 800-585-1051. If you need to vent, you can hit us up. Now we got rumors on the way.
All right, and I never thought I'd see this day, Billie Eilish versus Kanye. What are the two of them going back and forth over?
All right, we'll get into that next, so don't move. It's The Breakfast Club. Good morning.
The Breakfast Club.
Listen up. This just in.
All the gossip. The Rumor Report. Gossip. With Angela Yee.
It's The Rumor Report.
The Breakfast Club.
All right. Well, you can't always just read the headlines, right? Now, Kanye West is supposed to be headlining Coachella alongside Billie Eilish. And he posted a headline, Billie Eilish dissed Travis Scott at her concert after she stopped the show to give her fan an inhaler. He posted, "Come on, Billie, we love you. Please apologize to Trav and to the families of the people who lost their lives. No one intended this to happen. Trav didn't have any idea what was happening when he was on stage and was very hurt by what happened. And yes, Trav will be with me at Coachella, but now I need Billie to apologize before I perform." But let's flash back to what Billie actually said while she was on stage.
Relax. It's okay. It's okay. Nothing's happening. We're good. It's okay. We're taking care of our people. Hold on. I wait for people to be okay until I keep going.
It was a shot at Travis.
Now, Billie Eilish responded, literally never said a thing about Travis, was just helping a fan.
I mean, listen, Kanye got nerve to demand an apology from anyone for something they have said. Imagine someone demanding Kanye West apologize for something he said. Come on.
Now, he also posted someone's comment. Somebody said, "Man's off the meds, album gonna go crazy." Kanye posted that and responded, "The world is racist, sexist, homophobic, and crazy phobic at our core. It's cheap and dismissive to say I'm off my meds anytime I speak up. Phobia in this sense doesn't mean being afraid of it, means not giving power to let's be more conscious and not write each other off so easily."
I'm watching that Genius documentary this weekend, though. I got a link to it. I can't wait to watch that. I heard it's really good.
All right, and congratulations to Eve. She has welcomed her first child with her husband, Maximilian Cooper. So congratulations to two of them. She posted, "Our beautiful boy was born February 1st, 2022. Wild Wolf Fife Alexander Summers Cooper. Words can't describe this feeling."
Dropping a clue bomb for Eve and Maximilian. Congratulations. Glad you had a healthy delivery. That's the most important thing.
And Anderson Cooper has announced the birth of his second son. He said his newborn son name is Sebastian Luke Maisani Cooper. He was 6.8 pounds at birth, and he is healthy and happy. Even his occasional hiccups are, to me, adorable. So that's his second child. His first son, Wyatt, was born in April of 2020, and he's co-parenting Wyatt and Sebastian with his best friend and former partner, Benjamin Maisani.
Dropping the clues bombs to Anderson Cooper and Benjamin. Congratulations. They had a healthy delivery.
All
That's
right.
the most important thing.
Mm-hmm.
And Dave Chappelle, people were saying that he killed this affordable housing plan that was going to be in Yellow Springs. He actually went to one of the meetings in the town, which he always goes to, and he argued against the, quote, affordable housing options. That video went viral. Here it is.
Hi, I'm Dave Chappelle. I just want to say, I don't know why the Village Council would be afraid of litigation from a $24 million a year company while they X out a $65 million a year company. I cannot believe you would make me audition for you. You look like clowns. I am not bluffing. I will take it all off the table. That's all. Thank you.
Now, a rep of his, Carla Sims, actually responded and said Dave Chappelle didn't kill affordable housing concerned residents, and a responding village council killed a half-baked plan which never actually offered affordable housing. And they said that he's not opposed to affordable housing options, but the proposal in question was a sprawl-style development plan of which Dave Chappelle was not a fan. They also said, according to reports, it was supposed to be affordable housing, but it was $300,000, which is not even affordable in Yellow Springs. So that's not even affordable housing units.
Yeah, we really live in a headline culture world, because if you just read about that situation, then you would see that the affordable housing they said was a future possibility, not a given, and it was like 1.75 acres of land to be donated and later developed into affordable housing. But it was like he's not even what he's pushing back against. That's not even a part of the project. Like the affordable housing project they talking about would have been separate from this development that he's even pushing back against. So I don't even understand where that headline came from.
Right. So, but I guess people just wanted that to go viral. All right, now
Sounded
Wendy
to me like
Williams.
it was a bunch of white people mad that a black man was flexing his power like that. That's what it sounded like to me.
All right, now Wendy Williams, according to the bank, Wells Fargo, they're saying that she needs a guardianship and that she's an incapacitated person. They sent a letter to New York Supreme Court Judge Arlene Booth requesting a hearing to determine whether or not Wendy Williams needs a professional to intervene in her affairs. According to that attorney, they said, we are concerned about Williams' situation. It is our hope that the guardianship part of the court will imminently appoint a temporary guardian or evaluator to review the situation and ensure that Williams' affairs are being properly handled. So not sure what information they have that they would believe she's not able to handle her own finances. But as you know, she's been trying to access her own accounts.
Yeah, it's a tough one because you want to make sure that, she is okay and that she could get her money. But then they said that she might foreclose on her property. She can't pay her staff because she can't get into those accounts. So, I mean, I hope they handle that fast. But if she's okay and everything is fine and she's trying to get her money, she should be able to get her money.
We also don't know exactly, but we also don't know the full situation. You know what I mean? It sounds to me like we're only getting a very, 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 very small part of the story. And that's why the story doesn't make any sense. But we're sending healing energy to Wendy Williams. That's what I'm doing.
Well, Wendy Williams denies that she is the victim of undue influence and financial exploitation, and they have requested a temporary restraining order against Wells Fargo to restrain the bank from freezing her accounts and interfering with her right to access her financial assets and statements. All right. Now, I saw this story circulating yesterday, and there was a story saying that this person claims they worked at iHeart, but due to the vaccine mandated iHeart Media not being extended last Thursday, many employees were terminated, including myself. That person claims they took snapshots from a privileged meeting and that the Breakfast Club will no longer exist and that they have a tentative list to change the morning show based in New York when their contract expires next spring. And they also claim to have had the salary information that they're planning to pay for the replacements. And I saw one blog posted this, but clearly that is a fake story. So
you sure?
I don't know if
that's
fake.
A vacation on
I think it's true. I'm gonna be honest with you. I think it's
you
on
guys
vacation.
I don't think you guys have both signed your contracts and they don't expire in the
I don't
spring,
think it's
do
fake.
they?
I don't know how you can just. I don't know how you can just discredit it and say it's fake. I don't think it's fake. I don't think it's fake at all. I don't even know. I don't think it's fake. I believed it when I saw it. I don't know what you're talking about.
I don't know who even bothers to do things like this, but okay. But shout out to my girl Roxy. I see she was on the list that they said they were offering her money. A girl, it's a morning show. You should get
from
more
Philly.
Yeah, Roxy Romeo.
Yeah, Roxy from Philly.
And also
Remy, and somebody else is on there too, right?
Remy Ma, Mother Knows.
Oh yeah, this is definitely true. I believe it. I believe it.
And I'm sure Remy would ask for more money as well.
Yeah, Remy would ask for more money, but
I 100% believe this story.
All right. Well,
fact.
What is it? You said
all
fact
right.
or fact?
Facts.
Okay.
Well,
yeah, I have no
that
proof
is
that
your
this is not
rumor
real.
report.
I have no proof this story is
Listen, I
not
know
real.
people. Everybody likes to believe everything that they read. So imagine
I was going
that.
on vacation February 18th. Damn it, man. All right.
But it's funny. People
you
keep on
definitely
hitting
going
us
on
like,
vacation.
"Oh my God, you guys are leaving."
You're going on vacation February 18th.
February 18th.
You are going on vacation. Okay.
All right. All right. Well, that is what. And February 21st is a holiday, right?
President's Day.
Yeah,
It's
I'm definitely
President's
going on
Day.
vacation. All right. Well, that is your rumor report. Now we got front page news next. What are we talking about?
Yes, and let's talk about a black man who was a FedEx delivery person, and he got chased by two white men who didn't believe he needed to be in that neighborhood.
All right. We'll get into that next. It's the Breakfast Club. Good morning.
The Breakfast Club. Your mornings will never be the same.
The General Insurance is a quality insurance company that has been saving people money for nearly 60 years. What up, y'all? It's DJ Envy, and you should take a closer look at The General. Call 800-GENERAL or visit thegeneral.com. The General Auto Insurance Services, Inc., an insurance agency, Nashville, Tennessee. Some restrictions apply. Morning, everybody. It's DJ Envy, Angela Yee, Charlamagne the Guy. We are the Breakfast Club. Let's get in some front page news. Now, our NBA trade deadline was yesterday, and the biggest trade of the day was James Harden for Ben Simmons, Seth Curry, Drummond, and two first round picks.
Sixers gave up a lot.
They did.
But Eddie, who's from Philly, he's a Sixers fan. He explained it. It's not. How did you explain it, Eddie? Like the first round picks, one pick will be late, and the other one's protected. What was it?
First round pick for next year is not going to mean anything because the Sixers are going to be in the playoffs, so it's probably like a 29th pick or something like that.
Yeah.
And then the next pick is protected. So
got you.
If they go to the lottery, they're not going to.
Got you. 29th pick in first round still could be a great player, though.
It still could be a player.
Still could be a great player. I just feel like they gave away a lot. And Steph Curry is a great piece. And
What else we
Andre
got,
Drummond.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot.
All right. Oh, okay. I thought you guys were talking about it. Long-term U.S. mortgage rates have hit their highest in 2 years, 3.69%. So that is potentially bumping some home buyers out of the market, with Americans getting squeezed by higher costs for just about everything. So just giving y'all, it's still pretty low though.
It's low.
It's
lower
but
than it
for
was
the
years
past
ago.
2 years, yeah.
Mm-hmm. But that's what they've been saying. They've been saying they're going to try to raise interest rates on everything, on loans, housing market, and they're saying that'll cut down some of inflation and also cut down the fact that some of these companies and these houses are going way overpriced. So that's what they're trying to do. So it's going to hurt a lot of people.
All right, now let's go to Brookhaven, Mississippi. Two white men are facing criminal charges. There was a black FedEx Express driver who alleges that he was chased and shot at while he was simply doing his job, delivering packages. And he says when he called the police to report the shooting, they didn't even take him seriously. Now, Demontario Gibson, he's 24 years old. He told CNN he was delivering packages to a home around 7 p.m. on January 24th, and he saw a white pickup truck coming from the house behind it. The truck approached him and started blowing the horn at him. Now, his van, by the way, Gibson, who was delivering the packages, his van was a Hertz rental van, and he had on, though, the FedEx jacket, shirt, and pants. But his vehicle didn't have any FedEx markings on it. Now, he said he thought he was in the truck's way, so he tried to leave, but the truck swerved around him and tried to cut him off. He said at that point, his instincts kicked in, and he just swerved around the guy who was trying to cut him off to get out of the neighborhood. He said he drove down the street about 2 or 3 houses, and then a man in the middle of the road pointed a gun at his vehicle and was yelling at him to stop. Gibson said he shook his head no, and then hid behind the steering wheel and swerved around him. And that's when that person started firing at him, at least 5 shots, he said. And he heard the bullets hitting the van. As he was leaving the neighborhood, one of his managers called. He told the manager someone was shooting at him. She told him, get back to the station as fast as you can. And now the truck that was following him had both men inside and chased him out of Brookhaven and to the interstate. And so that's what happened. Now, he did end up going to the police station to file a report, and he felt like he was targeted by both of these white men because he's African American when he was simply doing his job as a FedEx driver in full uniform when they chased him and assaulted him by gunfire. Can you imagine that happening? You're doing your job and all of this goes down. So he says he went to the police station, filed his report. Police weren't taking him seriously. One officer incorrectly repeated his statement back to him 3 or 4 times before finally getting it right. And the second officer said he was going to play devil's advocate and say, did you do anything to make them think that you were suspicious? Wow. Gibson said that was a slap in the face to him. And it actually took them 8 days before they even got an arrest warrant. to arrest these men that were shooting at him. So, yes, they are still investigating, and what they're saying is it takes a while for an investigation to happen, but we'll keep you updated on that case because he could have lost his life just trying to actually go and deliver these packages. And they did say FedEx is voluntarily paying for Gibson's therapy also, by the way, because after that, he said he's been on leave. He's on unpaid leave for something that happened on the job, and he should be on paid leave. And FedEx is, however, paying for that therapy. But they don't like the way FedEx handled it either.
Wow. We're praying for that, brother, man. Because you imagine you trying to do your job and people start shooting at you, two white guys start shooting you.
FedEx uniform delivering packages. All right. Well, that is your front page news.
All right. Thank you, Miss Yee. Now, when we come back, we got a special guest joining us. We have Gary Chambers Jr.
Gary Chambers Jr. This brother is absolutely being the change that he wants to see in politics. He's running for Senator of Louisiana.
All right, and we're going to kick it with him next. So don't move. It's The Breakfast Club. Good morning.
The Breakfast Club.
Morning, everybody. It's DJ Envy, Angela Yee, Charlamagne the Guy. We are The Breakfast Club. We got a special guest in the building.
He's running for Louisiana Senate. Gary Chambers Jr.
Yes, welcome.
Peace, King.
What's good, brothers? How y'all?
How's it going?
Blessed, black, and highly favored,
now,
man.
You're running for Louisiana Senate. Now, the video that everybody's seen was you smoking a little cannabis.
No doubt.
A little marijuana.
No doubt.
A little bit of weed.
No doubt.
But before that, your story is so interesting to me because you were just a taxpaying citizen who got fed up with politics in your city, so you decided to be the change you want to see, and you stood up at that school board meeting, right?
School board meeting.
Yeah, that's the one that first went viral. Explain that meeting.
So we had a school that was named after Robert E. Lee in Baton Rouge, and I've got a 12-year-old daughter that's in the Baton Rouge school system, and she's on a track to potentially end up at that school. Not just me, but several of my brothers and friends in the community had kids that were in this school, and we didn't want our kids to have the name of a bigot on their high school diploma. We tried in 2016 to change the name and were unsuccessful, but we kept pushing the issue. And then when George Floyd happened, the country was in this bubbling point. We went back at it again. School board member Landis brought it, and we showed up at the meeting. Connie's in the meeting. Black woman sitting right next to her talking, and she's on the internet shopping. It pissed me off. And I went to the mic. Well, first I took a picture of Connie because I knew she was going to lie.
What was she shopping? What was she shopping for?
Dresses. She was literally shopping for dresses while we were talking about the institutional racism that existed in our school system. And Baton Rouge has a school system that's 80% black, right? And here's this middle-aged white woman who just doesn't give a damn about what we're talking about. And so I did what I do.
JCPenney shopping.
All up there, and so I did what I do and confront the truth about what was happening, and then gave historical context to what the problem was with Robert E. Lee and why his name shouldn't be on a school. It went viral for whatever the reason was, and I'm thankful for it because as someone who's been advocating in the community, the hardest part is getting the rest of the country to hear what's going on in your backyard.
Absolutely.
We won that night. The name is now Liberty High School. I would have rather PBS Pinchback High School. There are no high schools in Baton Rouge named after black people.
Wow. Did you ever have any dreams of being in politics or being some type of civil rights activist? What did you do before this?
So I own a media company, a black-owned media company in Baton Rouge, and really I had no political aspirations because I'm a high school graduate, somebody who started a business with his friends and decided that I wanted to push the issues around making money. What I recognized, there was a brother named Lamar Johnson in Baton Rouge who a few weeks before Sandra Bland, he was said to have hung himself in Parish prison. I had this platform. I wrote a column about it. 40,000 people read it. In Baton Rouge, that's a big deal. A few months later, our district attorney there, Hilla Moore, attempted to do this misdemeanor jail, which basically was rounding up people who had simple traffic violations and arresting them for that, right? We had 140,000 people with those in Baton Rouge. And so I thought that if you can't handle what happened with Lamar Johnson in Parish prison, then you don't need to open a temporary jail to cart people in on. And so I wrote columns about that. People read it, showed up at a meeting. A couple of other young black men showed up at the meeting, and we killed it. And that was kind of like the beginning of my journey into advocacy. It was because there was an issue in my community. I had a platform. I just spoke up. I didn't know the overall impact would be that we would never have a misdemeanor jail in Baton Rouge again, but I never stopped going to city council meetings.
Wow.
Man, that shows the importance of the city council meetings and the school board meetings and stuff
talk about
like
that, the importance of that, because a lot of us don't go to those council meetings. We ain't got enough time. We be working, we're tired, we're sleepy.
Me too. I think that is the easy answer to why we don't do it. But what I realize is every one of us is paying taxes every day, right? And so when you give into the government, if you opting not to be a part of the process, you're allowing people to decide with your money to make decisions that are contrary to your beliefs. For me, if you mad about the potholes in your neighborhood, that's your city council member. If you mad about, the lack of investment in your school system, that's your school board member. A lot of us don't even understand the different layers of government and what everybody does. And I know that because in running for office, people will ask you about, well, this is this issue. And it's like, I have no control over that. We got to learn the institutions and structures around us and then mobilize them to be powerful for us.
Wow. Now, when you decided, okay, I'm going to run for office after the school board meeting, what prompted that?
Well, when Cedric Richmond took the job with President Biden,
salute to Cedric,
I had a platform and an opportunity, and really people around the country and around Louisiana asked me to run. I wasn't looking at that at all. I was looking at this U.S. Senate race. We decided to run for Congress because it was like, this is an opportunity we didn't think was going to open up. Cedric went and took the job. Let's go for it. I'm proud of the race we ran. We raised $500,000 in a 3-month period. That's amazing for a candidate like me in that race. We came within 1,500 votes of winning that election with a grassroots people power movement. And to put that into perspective, the opposition raised millions of dollars and spent their first TV buy was 6 figures, right?
Wow.
We spent $30,000 on TV and came within 1,500 votes.
Wow.
Right? Because of the people power that we built on the ground. This time around, we have a deeper understanding of the science and the art of politics, that we do need to be in the media spaces, so we got to raise the capital to do that. But we know that we know how to touch the communities and people in the state of Louisiana in a way that other people don't.
I wanted to ask you, because you named a couple of examples. When did Gary Chambers Jr. first realize, just in life, that your voice could actually change something?
So I'm an ordained minister, and I always knew that at some point God would use my voice to speak to his people. My campaign slogan is do good and seek justice, which is Isaiah 1:17. Do good, seek justice, help the widow, the orphan, the oppressed, and the poor. I live by that. And this is really just an opportunity for me every time to live out my faith. Jesus was about healing the sick, right? And if he came and healed the sick, then why isn't Medicare for all good for us? If that was a structure of our faith that we believe he could redeem, then we also have to have the knowledge to understand that medicine works, science works, and if we're paying into a system, the church get 10% of the money from some of the people, the government get 30% of the money from all the people. They should be producing solutions in healthcare for the people of this country.
Boy, Gary, you've been cheating, man. You're an ordained minister and you got a background in media. They ain't even see you coming.
No.
Now, you recently went viral for, you announced that you were running for Louisiana Senate and you were smoking some weed.
No doubt.
Talk about that.
I think that we wanted to cut through the noise. I do smoke cannabis. It's not something that should be controversial anymore. 68% of people in Louisiana believe that cannabis should be legalized recreationally. And in order to make sure that we destigmatize a lot of these things, people who have platform influence, whatever that is, they need to use that platform and influence to steer a conversation. It worked. It did cut through the noise, and it got us to talk about the real issues around Louisiana and cannabis. You got folks in Angola Penitentiary right now who are serving what amounts to a life sentence for basically simple possession of marijuana. That's wrong. While people in California, Illinois, and other places, New York is going to come online, people going to make millions of dollars, but you got folks still sitting in jail for it. That's not right.
I saw that video and I said, man, Gary is such a threat to people. They might try to lock him up for smoking the weed on the video.
I went to the most legal place in Louisiana you could go to do it, and help pass the policies in New Orleans last August. Shout out to City Council President Helena Moreno, who brought a piece of legislation that basically, if the police stop you in New Orleans and give you the citation, that it's automatically pardoned by the city council. So that's a new legislation that they use to work around the state policies that basically say you can't have it.
Now, somebody told me that you were supposed to say something in the video, but you got so high that you couldn't even record it after.
Nah, man. We always ready. Always ready.
All right, we got more with Gary Chambers Jr. when we come back. He's running for Louisiana's Senate. It's the Breakfast Club. Good morning. Morning, everybody. It's DJ Envy, Angela Yee, Charlamagne the Guy. We are the Breakfast Club. We're still kicking it with Gary Chambers Jr. He's running for Louisiana's Senate. Charlamagne?
You also just you did something that I did some years ago, but they wouldn't let me air it on television. You burned the Confederate flag. 'Cause, I'm from South Carolina, so after that devil Dylan Roof, murdered the Emanuel 9. He was holding up the Confederate flag and his pictures and everything, and then Bree Newsom scaled the pole to bring the flag down. So I actually took the flag and shredded it on one of my talk shows back in the day on MTV, but they wouldn't let it air. Like, we shredded it, threw it up as confetti and everything, but you actually burned it in your video.
Set it on fire.
Wow. What prompted that?
Eric on my team came to me and said that he thought we should build a conversation around race in America and we should burn the Confederate flag. As soon as he said it, I said, yeah, because everything we are dealing with in the American government right now that is inequitable is rooted in the Confederacy. We watching people right now in every state in the South attempt to disenfranchise black voters. I live in a House district that the legislature is attempting to gerrymander right now to put the community I've lived in my whole life in a district that connects to a community that has no similarities between each other, right? And all of it's rooted in the heritage of bigotry and racism. It's been since 1873. And paint this picture now. 1873, you have PBS Pinchback, who is a black man elected to the United States Senate. He's never seated, okay? Prior to that, he's the president of the Louisiana State Senate. Black folk running around here talking about not voting and not participating in the process, when one of the first things we did, it wasn't just go build businesses. It was elect a ton of black folks to state legislatures in South Carolina, Mississippi, Louisiana. Louisiana had all these black men there. We had Oscar Dunn was the lieutenant governor of the Louisiana, dark-skinned black man, right? And this image was shown to all of these people in the state of Louisiana. And I post this, whenever I go live, I have an image behind me of these men. And you end up with a government that then builds a litany of structures to prevent that image from ever existing. PBS Pinchback becomes the governor of Louisiana because Oscar Dunn dies. Pinchback becomes the governor. He's the governor for like 30 days. It's 100 years before Douglas Wilder becomes the governor of Virginia.
Wow.
When we talk about black history, these people were methodical. Once they recognized the power of the black vote immediately after emancipation, they did everything they could to strip us of our power. And now we just giving it away. We 50% of us showing up. Ain't 50% of us paying the taxes. And so when you talk about burning the Confederate flag, for me, it's like, until we burn the remnants of the Confederacy from every piece of legislation that's in this government, we're going to continue to have problems. Whether you look at cannabis legislation, rooted in racism. You look at the housing issues we have, rooted in racism and redlining. You look at the banking issues we have, rooted in racism and not giving us loans from the GI Bill and all of those things. Every system and structure of this country was designed around racist policies to prevent equity.
What you're talking about, even with burning the flag, is what I like to call the decrackification of America. And I liken it to the denazification in Germany, because we're still a country that still celebrates the Confederacy. So essentially, we're celebrating white supremacy. We're celebrating oppression, like everything from Robert E. Lee schools named after him, and highways, or Strom Thurmond highways, or the Confederate flag, all of that. So yes, you got to get rid of all of that imagery,
because substance and symbolism matter, right? Tell me why you even put up Robert E. Lee schools in the 40s and 50s. Not right after he died, right? You wait a decade because you use it as a fear tactic against people in our community. And then you had black folks going to schools with people waving Confederate flags until the early 2000s.
That's right. Crazy.
Like literally there are schools in Louisiana that until the last decade had separated proms.
Even when you talk about imagery and symbolism, you think about a movie like Birth of a Nation in 1915. There's a scene where they show all of these black elected officials just basically being ratchet as hell, barefoot, drinking whiskey, eating fried chicken all crazy, because they wanted to show the image of this is what happens if you vote black people in the office.
And they do it every day. I grew up in North Baton Rouge. I grew up middle class black. I don't have the story of people robbing and stealing and killing in my neighborhood. And my neighborhood was 100% black. But we don't tell those stories when we talk about black communities. And they're in every city in this country, they exist. But all we talk about is the zip codes where the problems are. But the zip codes where the problems are exist because you won't deal with the structural issues in communities.
So when you're elected to Louisiana Senate, what is your...
I like how you said that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like
absolutely.
When you're elected.
What's the first thing that you're going to do?
Well, one of the first things is to really figure out how do we move the economy forward to work for working class people? If we give people the ability to feed their family, I trust the genius of the human capacity that they can produce for themselves a better outcome. I think we also have to look at the government structures that exist. I thought Biden's Build Back Better plan was something that would have helped a lot of people. We got to figure out how do you structure policy and get it passed. You got to extend the margins in the Senate. Having somebody like me increases the ability to decrease the power of somebody like Joe Manchin and Kristen Sinema. And so the election of me here, Charles Booker, Mandela Barnes, Val Demings, all of these people is critically important because that is the only way we end up in the capacity to make sure that our voices aren't muted in the Senate. There have only been 11 people, black folks, in the history of this country to serve in the U.S. Senate. You have the capacity to send 4 or 5 more in November. And so regardless of how pissed off you are with Biden or what you feel about the administration isn't doing, you have the capacity to enhance the checks and balances right now by sending people there that can help us pass something.
Now, people would say on a local level, right, when it comes to some of the things that you name, whether it's cannabis, right? Or, cannabis, they say, okay, we'll give certain people licenses, but then you need liquid. And most of our people don't have the liquid for it. So we have to partner up with, a white person that has the liquid. So it's really not our business. Or you talk about real estate and they say, okay, you could build in these places, but to build in these places is not just black people building these places. So what happens is a lot of the white people that come in there and they develop in those places. So we really have nothing. So as local, how are you going to help the people locally to make sure that they can have businesses, that they can create generational wealth, and that they can have better school systems? How do you plan on attacking that?
Well, I think one of the major things, a U.S. Senator has a whole lot of influence and power, right? And to be able to leverage the resources that you're going to bring into the state to make sure that when those policies come in, they're equitable. Once cannabis is legalized around the country, there's going to be federal subsidies for that. There's going to be federal resources attached to that. How do we build those policies to ensure that whatever those subsidies are attached to an equitable premise? That we ensure that if you're going to get this money, you got to commit X amount of dollars to be spent with black and minority businesses. You have to commit to how these partnerships are structured, that not minority partners, that they need to be majority partners on these things, and figure out the way that we build that equity. And then really using the bully pulpit. One of the most powerful things that a legislator can do is use their voice. And a lot of times they're scared to speak out on certain issues. They don't want to offend nobody. I don't really care about pissing people off. I care about getting stuff done. And so if it means that I upset you in order to get you to do what needs to be done legislatively, then I'm going to call you out and do that.
And committing to freeing all of those people those brothers and sisters that are locked up for weed all over the country.
President Biden needs to do everything in his power at this point to do good on the things he said in the campaign trail. Decriminalizing cannabis.
Legalizing it, though.
What he committed to is decriminalize. So for me, I fully support legalizing, but at least do what you said you was going to do.
All right, we got more with Gary Chambers Jr. when we come back. He's running for Louisiana's Senate. It's the Breakfast Club. Good morning. Morning, everybody. It's DJ Envy, Angela Yee, Charlamagne the Guy. We are the Breakfast Club. We're still kicking it with Gary Chambers Jr. He's running for Louisiana's Senate. Charlamagne?
One thing you mentioned about all of these Senate seats that are up for grabs, this year. All these people that's running for Senate. The problem I have with Democrats is they don't speak out against the senators that are holding up progress, like the Sinemas and the Mansions, and they're not speaking up for the people who are running for these Senate seats that could probably, tip the balance of power. So you look at Senator John Kennedy, who you're running against. He already got the endorsement of Trump, right? Well, you're trying to unseat him. Why do you think Democrats aren't speaking up for people like you?
We do. We actually need the Democratic Party in the state of Louisiana right now to make sure we're the only candidate in the race. We know we've raised more money than everybody else. We've clearly built a national conversation. The Democratic Senate Central Committee should join us and prioritize Louisiana. Louisiana is a state of 4 million people. That's Houston. If the DNC can't invest in Louisiana and flip Louisiana, fold the tent up and close the whole thing up. Close the whole thing up. Because if you can tell me that you can flip Texas, but you can't get Louisiana, and Louisiana has a Democrat as governor, it's because you're not making that investment. And so for me, I think that what we're trying to do is show what is a new age of politics, that you can be free in your ideology and your thought process. You can tell the truth. You can represent the people, and you can look good while you do so. None of my content is ever going to be like cookie cutter stuff. We intend to shock your senses. I'm not going to apologize for that, because the only way I'm going to get you to pay attention to the state that's ranked 50th in the nation is if I shock your senses. And if that gets you to pay attention to the fact that I live in a state that's 50th in crime, 47th in the economy, 49th in the environment, 46th in healthcare, to say that that's a place that we need to make investment, then I'm going to keep doing it all year long.
You think this old establishment that is Democrats will accept somebody like a Gary Chambers Jr.?
I don't really look for acceptance. I get elected, they ain't got no choice. I'm there. And my vote, I'm going to use that the way that I believe that it's supposed to be used to help the people of my state.
What about Cedric? Is Cedric showing up?
You know, me and Cedric
we got to put some pressure on him if need be now.
Me and Cedric have a decent enough relationship. I don't know if he was thrilled that I ran against Troy, but Troy and I, who's the new Congressman Troy Carter, we have a great relationship. We built that through the campaign trail. I got a great deal of respect for Cedric. He's limited in his capacity because he works for the White House, but there are people who I hope that he can nod his head to and say, you know what, I think the brother's the right person to be in this position. And I think that whatever the people of Louisiana do, we have to ask ourselves, especially black folk, how long are we going to help elect people who continue to disappoint us? Right now, we're dealing with the Ronald Greene case in Louisiana, black man killed by Louisiana State Police, text messages found by Governor John Bel Edwards to have known the details of what happened to this brother. We need to ensure that when we put our vote behind somebody, Democrat, Republican, whatever you are, that you deliver for us.
That's right. And what I like about you, man, you know, first of all, Democrats' messaging sucks.
Horrible.
Yours is very clear.
You know why? They don't understand where the pulse of the people is.
That's right.
They spend so much time in these boxes debating policy, and that is the job, okay? That you are not in touch with the community in a way. There's no other politician in America that would have smoked weed in a video or burned the Confederate flag in the first two ads that they did.
That's right.
Yet both of those, we raised 6 figures yesterday.
Wow.
6 figures yesterday from that flag. Not because I don't believe the majority of people are racist. And the majority of people want us to move beyond that. But we allow a certain group of people to dominate the conversation. And Dr. King told us about the white moderate.
That's right.
All right? That they were almost as bad as the Ku Klux Klaner. And so we allow those people to steal too much of the conversation, and that's why we don't produce no change.
How can people donate? Because you talk about donating. How can people donate?
ChambersforLouisiana.com. Yes, sir.
I'm definitely donating. I'm 100% donating.
And I appreciate that because it is a winnable race. The truth is, if black folk and brown folk and white folk in Louisiana could elect John Bel Edwards twice, 2015 and 2019, then that is proof a Democrat can win in this state. The question that we have to ask ourselves is, in the second blackest state in America, why is it that there's been 100 years since a black person has been elected statewide in that state? And we need to do everything in our power this year to redeem what is wrong in that. And I'm not going to be perfect. I'm not going to promise you or anybody else that I'm never going to make a mistake. I'm never going to say something I shouldn't have said or step out of line. But what I will promise is that I'll be accountable to the people and show up about the issues that I say I'm going to show up for.
Do you need white people to vote for you to win?
Absolutely. We let me say this. We need all people to vote for us. But the truth is, John Kennedy was elected with 536,000 votes. There are 1.2 million black folks in Louisiana.
How many votes was it?
536,000 votes is how much John Kennedy was elected with. There are 1.2 million black people in Louisiana.
Wow.
More of us.
That can vote.
That can vote.
It's interesting to me, man, because, you know, being from South Carolina, a lot of times it's habits that a lot of these people just end up back into these seats, right? So when I saw what Stacey Abrams did in Georgia, I'm like, man, I think we can change things in these southern places, man.
The South is where it's at. You know, I have this logic of a new black South, and I need y'all to go ahead and switch your residency to a southern state. I know you're going to do your business in New York, but the best capacity for black people in America to flip political power and financial power is by moving back to the South.
How much? What, 60% of all black people in America?
60% of black folks live in the South, right? We are never going to flip California. We never going to flip New York. There's 4 million people in Louisiana. If another 400,000 black folks move to that state, we increase the voting population. When you talk about billionaires, and we love to talk about black wealth and all the money we get, Jay-Z, Beyonce, Oprah, Jordan, all those billionaires, I love the fact that they're billionaires. But you know what the government has every year? In Louisiana, that's a $30 billion a year budget that we get to put a governor over to make decisions about $30 billion a year that we could do in 6 or 7 states, right? You go from 3 black U.S. senators, and you can count Tim Scott out, you know, because he don't really vote for nothing with us. So you can go from 3 black U.S. senators to potentially 7, 8 black U.S. senators, potentially 16 if you go 8 states where we get 2 black senators in both of those. That's a block of the U.S. Senate. When you talk about trillions of dollars of impact that you get to influence, it is a hard task that we have put on Cory Booker and Raphael Warnock, because that's 2 black folk in a room with 80 plus other people that are not people of color. And we are asking them to make those people give a damn about us. we need to send them some reinforcements. And we do that by being strategic. Everybody ain't gonna move to the South. I understand that. I'm not asking everybody to move to the South. But if you can send your kids to college in the South and tell your kids start their family in the South, if those who have resources can live in multiple places, buy you a property and vote in the South. Ask this question. Who does Jay-Z and Beyonce have more influence over? Gavin Newsom in California or John Bel Edwards or Kay Ivey in Louisiana and Alabama? John Bel Edwards, Kay Ivey gonna lose their mind if the Queen calls.
That's right.
You know, Gavin Newsom talking to popular people all the time because he's the governor of California, 60 million people in his state.
I think they got property in Louisiana too, if I'm not mistaken.
There was some property in New Orleans that I think they recently sold the property.
I think that's the one that burned down at one time.
Yeah.
But even with that, like donate some finances. I mean, look how close Jamie Harrison came to, unseating.
We can do this,
Lindsey
man.
Graham.
What we need is Black America to stand up in a way that is substantial for us financially, that gives us the power to go win this. We know that we can mobilize the people. We just got to have the resource to do it. And no black candidate. Cleo Fields in Louisiana was the last black person in 1996 to have a real shot at running against somebody statewide. We got that opportunity if we got the resources.
So where can they donate to your campaign?
Yeah, tell us again.
ChambersForLouisiana.com. You can follow us on all the social medias at Gary Chambers Jr.
I'm going to make a donation now. And tell us the other people who are running. I know you said...
You have Malcolm Kenyatta in Pennsylvania. You have Val Demings in Florida. You have Charles Booker in Kentucky. You have Mandela Barnes in Wisconsin. All of these people are running for the U.S. Senate right now. And if they have the financial support and the capacity, they can win. And also, Senator Warnock is running for re-election and Stacey Abrams is running for the governor of Georgia. And we need to do everything we can to support those people to get them there.
ChambersForLouisiana.com. Go make a donation right now, man.
That's right. It's Gary Chambers Jr. It's the Breakfast Club. Good morning.
This is the Rumor Report with Angela Yee on the Breakfast Club.
So listen up.
All right. Well, a lot of excitement building up over the halftime show at the Super Bowl. And Dr. Dre was at the press conference yesterday, and he was talking about what's going to be happening for the halftime show. And here is what he had to say about what's going to be happening, wardrobe malfunctions and things like that.
Can we look forward to any surprises? I'm not talking about that.
What?
But yes, but I'm not going to talk about it.
So there will be surprises.
Absolutely.
There won't be any wardrobe malfunction stuff. If that's what
Snoop,
you
you
want.
Snoop, I'm going to need you to keep your shirt on, all right?
I may not.
No, I have to talk Snoop and Eminem out of pulling their penises out. Whoa!
Okay.
It's essentially Eminem. Right.
Okay. Envy doesn't
you
want to
say it like
watch
that?
now. Envy doesn't want to watch now.
No, you don't want to watch.
No shirtless men, no penises
Yeah, you
out.
said earlier you didn't want to watch if that wasn't happening.
That is true.
But here,
that would be incredible, right? That would make Janet Jackson's breast look like nothing if Eminem pulled his penis out on stage. That would ensure no rappers ever perform at Super Bowl halftime shows ever again, right?
That would definitely.
All right,
that.
now as far as the performances and any surprises, here's what Dr. Dre had to say.
We're going to open more doors for hip-hop artists in the future and making sure that the NFL understands that this is what it should have been a long time ago. You understand what I'm saying? So, yeah, we're going to show exactly how professional we can be, how dope we can be on stage, and how exciting we're going to be to the fans. So we're going to let you know what it is.
I don't like the professional part of that statement. You know what I mean? Because that sounds like respectability politics in a way. Like, oh, we're going to show you that rappers can be professional. We know rappers are professional. You a billionaire, Dre. You've proven that already. You know what I mean? You go out there and do your thing. I can't wait to watch personally. We ain't got nothing to prove to nobody. They late, if you ask me. The NFL's late. They're all late. We don't have nothing to prove to anybody on that stage on Sunday.
All right. Well, there is rumors going around, though, that 50 will be making a surprise appearance on that stage. So I saw that's what a lot of people are saying. HHDX has said it. Hip Hop DX has said it also. So we'll see what happens, but it makes sense, right?
It would only make sense. It would only make sense. Like, you cannot, I mean, even when I saw that lineup and I was like, damn, why 50 not a part of this? I mean, salute to Kendrick and, of course, the Queen Mary J. Blige, but 50 should definitely be up there.
Absolutely. And he's in town, by the way.
All right,
we'll see.
Now, Eminem did a sit down with Sway on Shade 45, and he talked about some things like, first of all, did you know he's nervous?
I'm going to tell you, it's nerve-wracking.
Okay.
Nerve-wracking. Like, this is like this to me, it's like there's nothing more final than live TV. You know what I'm saying? So like, if you fuck up, your fuck up is there forever.
He's done live TV before and performed before, but I guess this is the biggest stage, right? That's what they say.
Man,
You can still get nervous.
of course, anxiety should be natural in a case like this, but nobody on that stage has anything to prove to anyone at all.
And then he's excited to be on stage with Kendrick Lamar, and here's what he had to say about K-Dot.
Kendrick is like the very top tier of lyricists, not just of this generation, but of all time.
That's a fact. No lie told.
All right, and Mary J. Blige sat down with the cruise show. I mean, everybody's doing their rounds right now because we are so excited for this halftime show. And here's what she had to say about her performance. And as you know, they don't get paid for this. All the production costs are taken care of. But these artists don't get paid. Here's what she had to say.
Real. You know, they always say you don't get paid to do the Super Bowl. Is that what's happening? That it's just a major look, right?
I mean,
I'm not trying to get into
listen, you're gonna be paid for the rest of your life
off of this.
Off of this.
Yes, ma'am.
People are gonna be knocking at you. Look, listen.
It opens so many doors.
You don't have to pay me, but if he was paying, it would be a lot of money. You know, this is opportunity of a lifetime.
Man.
Eminem says that, and Lose Yourself. This is the opportunity of a lifetime.
You feel me? You better lose yourself.
Yeah, you better lose yourself.
For real. In the moment.
Let's not get it twisted. Mary has an album that comes out today, and so does Snoop. So the streaming numbers are going to be through the roof. That was well planned.
What song is Mary going to do? Remember, Mary was trying to pick which song she wanted to do.
Family Affair.
I want her to do Real Love.
Yeah, she got you. That's the Dr. Dre produced one, though.
Yeah, I wanted to do Real Love.
I wanted to do Real Love, man. Imagine
hip hop version.
No, I want her to do the regular version with the lunchroom table beat. You know what I mean? Introduce that to a whole new generation.
I want the hip hop version.
Next year, the NFL should have Mary J. Blige do her own Super Bowl halftime show, because she could do her own Super Bowl halftime show by herself. If Katy Perry could do a halftime show, Mary J. Blige absolutely, positively can.
Absolutely.
And flashing back to 50 Cent, by the way, I just want to give a shout out to Power Book 4 Force. That's the one that stars Joseph Sikora as Tommy. That got 3.3 million multi-platform
Jesus
views
Christ.
in the U.S. across Starz Linear on Sunday. So that is the most watched premiere ever in Starz' history. And that's based only on early numbers. So shout out to them for that.
Yeah, I'm going to catch up with that this weekend. Drop on the Clues Bombs for 50, man. We really not giving 50 the respect he deserved for what he's done in that TV space, man. He's like the black Dick Wolf when it comes to these black crime stories.
And he has so much more on the table. That's the crazy part. He has about 4 or 5 shows coming.
Mm-hmm. And he put Starz on the map. The fact that he went to Starz, a network that, people weren't really checking for, launched Power, now he got this whole Power universe and BMF. Come on, man. It's unprecedented. It's unprecedented for anybody to do that.
Definitely had to shout out 50 for that. And they said Power Book 4 Force, that premiere, coupled with Power Book 2 Ghost Season 2 finale on Sunday, broke records. It is the most watched day ever on the Starz app with those two things combined.
Nothing but respect. Mm-hmm. Nothing but.
All right, that's your rumor report.
All right, Charlamagne, who you giving your donkey to?
4 after the hour, man, we need to talk to this middle school in Connecticut called John F. Kennedy Middle School. And let's talk Pizzagate. Yeah, you haven't heard that phrase in a while, right? We'll talk about it.
All right. We'll get into that next. It's The Breakfast Club. Good morning.
The Breakfast Club. Your mornings will never be the same.
The General Insurance is a quality insurance company that has been saving people money for nearly 60 years. What up, y'all? It's DJ Envy, and you should take a closer look at The General. Call 800-GENERAL or visit thegeneral.com. The General Auto Insurance Services, Inc., an insurance agency, Nashville, Tennessee. Some restrictions apply.
Charlamagne, say the gang, dunk it of the Charlamagne.
You are a donkey.
It's time for Donkey of the Day.
Donkey of the Day does not discriminate. I might not have the song of the day, but I got the Donkey of the Day.
So if you ever feel I need to be a donkey, man, hit me with the heat.
Yeah, it's the Breakfast Club, bitches.
Who's Donkey of the Day today?
Well, Donkey of the Day for Friday, February 11th goes to John F. Kennedy Middle School in Connecticut. In particular, a teacher named Bree Quarton. She's the district's health and physical education coordinator, and superintendent Christopher Drezik. I think I'm pronouncing his last name right now. I have extreme love for public school teachers. Drop on the Clues Bombs for all the public school teachers out there. Because my mother has been a public school teacher in South Carolina for as long as I've been alive. And I understand the impact that public school teachers have on kids, and I know how hard that job is because you have to truly love it, because it's not like the pay is your incentive. All right, you have to really care for these kids and their well-being. Lesson plans, assignments, all of these things teachers come up with to educate kids. We appreciate you. Drop another clues bomb for teachers, man. Public school teachers. We know it's not easy. And in this era of social media, video games, all types of things, just pulling at these kids' attention, cutting through to these children and creating things that can actually appeal to these kids is tough. So I'm not judging. Okay, but as a parent of a middle schooler, I would be concerned about this lesson plan that came out of JFK Middle School. I'm holding it in my hand right now, okay? And the title is Pizza and Consent. Okay, basically kids at JFK Middle School in Connecticut were instructed to use pizza as a metaphor for sex and asked to cite their favorite toppings. For example, cheese was for kissing and olives were for giving oral. Basically, they compared ordering a pizza to receiving consent. I can't make this kind of stuff up. Listen to Eric Sanzi, Director of Outreach for Parents Defending Education. She did an interview with ABC 7 KATV to describe the assignment.
The assignment started out with a sentence that said, yes, pizza can be a metaphor for sex. And then it went on to explain that just like when friends have to agree on pizza toppings when they're sharing a pizza, that people need to agree on what they're willing to do and not do in terms of consent. And so they decided to have the students list their sexual likes and dislikes and then draw them on a pizza as pizza toppings. Now, again, these are 8th graders, and it's important to keep in mind, under 15% of 8th graders have had sex. So they're being asked very personal questions on a topic that many of them are totally inexperienced with and likely uncomfortable talking about in school.
This is middle school. How many toppings do you think I've had on my pizza in middle school? Now I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but I enjoy a great conspiracy theory. And Pizzagate was a great conspiracy theory. You remember Pizzagate, don't you? The false allegation that the Clintons used the Comet Ping Pong Pizza restaurant in Washington, D.C. as a front for a pedophile sex ring, and the back room was supposedly used for kidnapping and trafficking children. Okay, now, of course, all of this was proven to be false, but it made a lot of noise, all right? The owner of Comet Ping Pong and his staff received death threats. People protested outside of the restaurant. A guy actually went in the restaurant and fired a gun at an employee. See, these fake stories be having real-world consequences, okay? People believe these conspiracy theories, and when you promote these false and reckless conspiracy theories, bad things happen. I'm saying all that to say JFK Middle School in Connecticut has done nothing but contributed to that conspiracy theory. I don't even know if Pizzagate is still a thing, but this right here is going to resurrect it. All right, listen, my daughter is in 8th grade. She's 13. These kids are watching shows like Euphoria. These kids have social media. These kids talk amongst each other. Do you remember when you were 13, 12, 11, whatever age we were in middle school, we was already talking about sex in a real way. So I can only imagine with all the access these kids have now, what their conversations are like. So you don't need stunts like this. Just talk to the kids, okay? Just talk to them, all right? Listen, let me read y'all some of this. This is why they use the metaphor for sex. They say when you order your pizza with friends, everyone checks in about each other's preferences. Some people might be vegan. Some people might be gluten-free. Others might love pineapple, while others prefer pepperoni. Some might not like pizza at all. If you're a vegetarian, but your friend is a meat lover, sharing a pizza is going to bring up a lot of issues. You don't know who you can share your pizza with unless you ask. Okay, didn't they say the same goes with sex? No. What are they talking about with the metaphor? That make no sense. The correlation makes no sense. You have to check in with your partners and ask for their preferences. Your partner might be comfortable with one sexual activity but not another. Maybe your partners only want to be touched a certain way, or maybe your partners prefer to use certain language, or maybe they don't want to have sex at all. You'll never know your wants, desires, and you'll never know if your wants, desires, and boundaries are compatible with theirs unless you ask. No. I don't want y'all asking my daughter about any of that. And once again, furthermore, how many toppings do you think these kids have had in middle school? Middle school, I would hope these kids are virgins. Okay, just plain cheese pizzas. Matter of fact, no cheese, no tomato sauce, just raw dough, that hasn't even been put in the oven yet. All right? Amanda, who is a parent from that school district, took to social media to express her disgust with the assignment. Let's listen to Amanda.
Just last week, a school assignment in JFK labeled Pizza and Consent was sent out for students. What's pizza got to do with it, you wonder? We can use pizza as a metaphor for sex. Those are the first 2 lines of this assignment, which is centered around establishing consent and boundaries. Except for page 2, where it takes it one step further and states, now that you know the metaphor for sex, let's explore your preference. Draw and color your favorite type of pizza. Mirror these preferences in relation to sex. Here are some examples: likes, Cheese equals kissing. Dislikes. Olives equals giving oral. Since when has it become acceptable for a teacher to ask a student what their sexual wants, desires, and boundaries are? Maybe our board members would like to answer this assignment and share their thoughts, just like our 8th grade students were requested to do.
Now, of course, the school is currently backtracking. Superintendent Christopher Drezick says it was a mistake and the assignment had been inadvertently sent to the students. Basically, they are claiming they sent the pizza to the wrong house. Okay, he said while the assignment was inappropriate, there was no hidden agenda. He said while addressing the parents, there was no secret cabal to indoctrinate kids on something. Let me tell you, man, if, you have to, explain that there's no secret cabal to indoctrinate kids, if a school superintendent has to explain that, all right, then my kids might be in the wrong school, all right? An explanation like that is just, I don't know, man. I just feel like this assignment is prompting kids to become sexually active before their time. And what does pizza have to do with consent? I still don't even know that, all right? Choosing what to put on your pizza when you are ordering with a group is hard enough by itself. Now you're trying to make it a metaphor for sex? And even after it's been explained, I still don't know what any of this has to do with consent, all right? Just talk to these kids. They're young adults. Speak to them as such. I promise they can handle it. But pizza as a metaphor for consent, they cannot. And what's the topping for anal? Huh? Please give John F. Kennedy Middle School in Connecticut the biggest hee-haw.
My kids ain't eating pizza no more.
That's what you got out of that? That's what you got out of that?
That's what I got out of that.
That's what you got out of that?
Chicken fingers and french fries all day long.
Jesus Christ.
And what is the topic?
What is the topic for anal? Now, just that. Can y'all? I just want to know. I just want to because they only put 2. They put cheese and they put olives. No, olives was oral sex, and cheese was kissing. I would like to know what y'all had the topping for anal. Probably peppers. I would say jalapeno peppers.
Jalapenos?
Yeah,
no
jalapeno
brown
peppers.
sauce or nothing like that?
I would say jalapeno peppers because everybody don't love jalapeno peppers, right? Huh? What's something on a pizza that people don't? Pineapple. I would think pineapples. Because everybody doesn't get pineapples on their pizza. You know what I mean? Mushrooms? Nah, everybody likes mushrooms. Everybody don't like it. You know what? Never mind. All right, guys. Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you for that donkey of the day.
Yes, I don't agree with this.
Now, what are we doing? Are we asking people, do they agree with this? What they think about this method of teaching kids about sex at 8th grade?
I don't see any parents agreeing with this lesson plan. And also, too, man, I think we underestimate how smart these kids are. So when you're talking to these young kids in middle school, you can talk to them like young adults. You can just have conversations with them, about sex. I don't know if I want any teacher talking to my kids about sex. I just think that's a parental conversation. But
I agree. And then you never know. Like 8th grade might not be the time because myself, I was a late bloomer. So, 8th grade, I wasn't thinking about sex. I was thinking about basketball.
No, I was thinking about it.
You didn't even think about sex?
No, I wasn't thinking about sex until 8th grade. I was a late bloomer. I had glasses, braces. Yeah, but thinking about. Okay, let me rephrase.
Yeah, you have the friends that would bring the playboys to the school and the trapper keepers. You know what I mean?
Right. You weren't about to have sex, but you thought about it.
Yeah, I was 5'2". I had glasses, braces. I was short. I had pimples all over my face. That wasn't something I was ever thinking about.
You thought about it.
So in other words, other people weren't thinking about having sex with you.
Jesus Christ, you are evil.
Gracious,
you are really evil.
Now you just triggered me. Now.
Jesus.
Now I'm triggered. Now I'm about to cry. But let's open up the phone lines. 800-585-1051. Gosh, you just hurt my feelings. I'm about to cry. Say sorry. I'm not performing.
Sorry.
Like Kanye West. Okay, there we go. 800-585-1051. What is the question? What are we asking people?
Do y'all agree with this lesson plan? Pizza and consent. I just want to know what parents think. That's all. Simple as that.
All right. Call us up right now. It's The Breakfast Club. Good morning.
The Breakfast Club. It's topic time. Call 800-585-1051 to join into the discussion with The Breakfast Club. Talk about it.
Morning, everybody. It's DJ NV, Angela Yee, Charlamagne the Guy. We are The Breakfast Club. Now, if you just joined us, Charlamagne gave donkey today to who?
The John F. Kennedy Middle School in Connecticut. They have a lesson plan called Pizza and Consent. Okay, where basically they use pizza as a metaphor for sex, and they ask students to cite their favorite toppings. For example, cheese was kissing, olives were giving oral. Oh my God.
So we're asking 800-585-1051. What are your thoughts on this practice? Me, no. I don't want you teaching my kids anything about sex, and especially when it comes to pizzas. Like now, every time my kids eat a slice of pizza, they're gonna be thinking about anal, oral, and all that other stuff. No.
It feels like nobody thought this through, right? Because it's middle school kids. I feel like, those kids are young adults, and you can just simply have a conversation with them. You know what I'm saying? If you want to teach them about consent and everything else. And also, you had to keep in mind the conspiracy theory Pizzagate when you put this together. You know what I mean? Pizzagate was when, it was the false allegation that the Clintons were using a restaurant in D.C. as a front for a pedophile sex ring. Like, come on. You got to know what kind of bad headlines stuff like this is going to create.
Yeah, I say no. What do you say, Yee?
I think the best thing to do is be direct and use the real words so that kids know how to use that language in real life. And instead of having to go around things and feel like certain things are taboo and thinking you're not supposed to say those things.
I agree. Just have a conversation with the kids. Like, we don't need no metaphors for sex. You know what I mean? You don't have to tell me olives is oral. You don't have to tell me cheese is kissing. That's too confusing. By the way, you know how hard it is to order a pizza with a group of friends? When it's like 4 or 5 of y'all and one eats pepperoni and one don't eat pork and the other one's lactose intolerant so they don't want cheese. I got time for all that.
All right.
Complicated already complicated issue.
Let's go to the phone lines. Hello, who's this?
Janet.
Hey, Janet, what's your thoughts?
Yeah, I think that was a bit much. Like, the 8th grade teacher should not be asking 13-year-olds what they like for sex, especially not as a pizza metaphor. That was a terrible metaphor, honestly. And I thought that was just completely inappropriate because I don't want nobody asking my 13-year-old daughter what she likes for sex. They shouldn't even be thinking about that in 8th grade.
Word. And what is the consent part? Where does that come into play?
That's a good question.
That is a good question because honestly, first of all, you're not even old enough to consent to anything at 13 or in 8th grade. So that should have been the whole conversation just should have been null and void because that no 13-year-old can consent to anything at that age.
I agree.
Thank you, Mama. Hello, who's this?
Hello, this is Liz Reeder. I am a teacher driving to school listening to the morning show and cannot believe what the heck kind of assignment was given to students on metaphors and pizza and sex. I'm going to defend teachers a little bit and say sometimes we are told we have to teach things that we don't think are appropriate because districts say this is the curriculum and you need to teach it. Mm-hmm. But second of all, if you're a teacher, you know beforehand what you're going to be giving students and you better know what you're teaching. And if you have problems with it, that's when you go to your administration because parents nowadays eat you up for anything that you say to kids. So it's shame on both the teacher and the district for having an assignment like that.
Yeah.
And parents look to teachers to do the right thing. And an assignment like that, completely inappropriate for 8th grade.
What grade do you teach?
Nobody's gonna want to eat pizza. I teach elementary. I'm a 2nd grade teacher.
Oh, okay. Never mind.
So, but hey, they talk about, you'd be surprised what 2nd graders know and come to school and tell you.
That's what I'm saying. We act like we weren't kids once. So why, if we're going to have the conversation with these young adults, talk to them like young adults.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Just be straight up with them.
Don't be secrets. Yeah, you got to be straight up and honest with kids. And certain conversations, you need to know your student body. You need to know your parents. But if we don't start talking to our kids like adults and be truthful and honest, this is where misinformation and communication breaks down between kids. Because when you're talking about pizza and shit, but things that they like, they're not even going to want to have a conversation when you make it weird.
I agree. Well,
absolutely.
Thank you, Mama. All right. Well, 800-585-1051. If you just joined us, Charlamagne gave Donkey today to who, Charlamagne?
John F. Kennedy Middle School in Connecticut, man. They have a lesson plan that's called Pizza and Consent, where they use pizza as a metaphor for sex, and you're asked to cite their favorite toppings. So kissing is cheese, olives is giving oral, and I still don't know what consent has to do with any of this.
All right, we'll get into that next. Call us up. What is your thoughts? It's the Breakfast Club. Good morning.
Call me.
Add your opinion to the Breakfast Club topic.
Come on.
800-585-1051.
Morning, everybody. It's DJ NV, Angela Yee, Charlamagne the Guy. We are the Breakfast Club. Now, if you just joined us, we're talking about Charlamagne's Donkey of the Day. Now, I gave it to a school in Connecticut because of what, Charlamagne?
John F. Kennedy Middle School in Connecticut. They have a lesson plan called Pizza and Consent. and they were instructed to use pizza as a metaphor for sex. And students had to cite their favorite toppings for their sexual preferences.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know where the consent comes into play in this, because as a caller called earlier and said, kids in middle school, they're not old enough to consent to any damn thing. Right. You know what I mean? So that I don't even know where the consent comes into play here. And then also, too, man, as I said during Donkey of the Day, if you know anything about the conspiracy theory, Pizzagate, and this right here does nothing but continue to fuel that conspiracy theory, which is a conspiracy theory that has almost gotten people killed. So
we're asking your thoughts, all right?
Mm-hmm.
800-585-1051. Hello, who's this?
Hi. Good morning.
Hey, good morning. What are your thoughts?
I think the way they went about it with the pizza was completely wrong, but I do think having sex education in the school is really important. There were some studies, if you can just Google, but there were some studies where it showed in between the ages of 14 and 17, 69% of those boys and 72% of those girls were sexually active. And there's another study where it shows the ages of 14 and 24, people had sexually transmitted diseases from gonorrhea to chlamydia. So speaking to those kids about sex education is really important. And it shouldn't just come from parents. It should come from people who they respect and see on a daily basis, such as their teacher.
Listen, I'm not opposed to that, but listen, how about just have the conversation with them? They're young adults. Think about how when we were young and the things we were thinking about and the things we were talking about. Just be straight up with them as opposed to doing silly stunts with pizza.
No, I agree with that. Definitely agree.
All right. Well,
have a great day.
All right, let's go to another caller. Hello, who's this?
Hi, this is Sky from Texas.
Hey, Sky. Good morning. What are your thoughts?
Good morning. Well, I'm a mother of 4. I do have a 14-year-old son, and I'm not particularly disturbed by the technique that they're trying to use. I mean, times are different. Yesterday, you guys were talking about boundaries overstepped with Snoop Dogg. Here in Texas, we're dealing with, just a simple massage that went wrong. Well, a few of them, supposedly, from Deshaun Watson. So I think it's okay to talk to the kids about what could be appropriate and what's not appropriate. I mean, you better start talking to them now.
Yeah, but why do it under the guise of pizza? Why not just have the conversation with him straight up? Your son 14, you can talk to him straight up and tell him what's going on in the world. Why?
Yeah, but I don't talk to him like that. I had a mother who talked to me like that, and it didn't do any different. It actually made me have a mouth that was inappropriate at times. The boundaries, again, you have to remember that the school district. So they have to still keep it. If you can't say the word vagina all day at school, then they may be a little bit reluctant to just put it on a paper and send it home with the kids.
I don't want nobody talking to my kids in code, especially, when we don't know if Pizzagate is real or fake or not, right? Okay, I'm serious.
But I think you should take the help where you can get it, because you do know I have so many blocks on his phone, but he finds it. YouTube will suggest it. So, I mean, I'll take whatever help I can get. I believe their intentions was good, and I don't think it's going to harm them. And by the way, I believe what you can use for anal is anchovies.
Anchovies.
That's a
good one.
Disgusting.
That's a good one. You see what you said? You said anchovies are disgusting, but some people love anchovies. Anchovies isn't a thing that you just regularly want to get on your pizza. That's it. You hit it. Anchovies.
Goodness gracious.
That's it.
Anchovies.
And they brown. Anchovies for anal.
Oh my goodness. How about we don't talk about pizza when we come to talk about having sex? How about that?
Listen, you're going to have a hard time convincing people Pizzagate isn't real. when things like this pop up, okay? I could say Pizzagate is false, but situations like this make you be like, let's rethink this.
All right.
Can you imagine a superintendent standing up in front of parents, telling parents, there is no secret cabal to indoctrinate kids on something? That's like when Sylvester the cat used to be sitting there with Tweety Bird all in his mouth and the feathers would be coming out of his mouth. I didn't eat the canary.
Yeah, what is wrong with you?
I don't know, actually.
What is wrong with you?
I don't know. I have therapy today.
Thank God. All right. Yeah. Now, we got rumors on the way?
Yes, we were discussing new albums earlier in reference to the Super Bowl. Snoop Dogg and Mary J. Blige have new albums coming out today, but we'll tell you about some more new music you'll be interested in.
All right. We'll get to that next. It's The Breakfast Club. Good morning.
The Breakfast Club.
It's about time. What's going on?
Rumor report. Rumor report. This is the Rumor Report with Angela Yee on The Breakfast Club.
All right, so what we love about Fridays is all the new music that drops, and Jasmine Sullivan has her new Hotels Deluxe Edition, Hotels Motels, the Deluxe. There are 10 tracks and interludes and contributions from Issa Rae, comedian Mona Love, and so are y'all ready for that?
I'm always here for Jasmine Sullivan.
Hotels Motels. Well, here is a snippet of Hurt Me So Good. Yes.
Okay.
That's what I'll be listening to this weekend. Also, Mary J. Blige, as you know, she has a new album out today and performing at Super Bowl halftime show. And by the way, some new intel is that she actually is going to be doing more than one song, according to Baller Alert. They had an exclusive, and it says she's not doing just one song.
It would be disrespectful to have.
Happy to hear that.
Yeah, it'd be disrespectful to have Mary J. Blige do one record.
All right, well, here is Mary J. Blige featuring Usher, Need Love, off her new album.
It's just stay.
It's all good in the beginning. You're a pretty girl and you think you're winning. But when it wears off, it's a bad ending. Don't mind holding you down if you keep your interest.
Okay.
That is Good Morning Gorgeous. So get ready for that new Mary J. Blige to be popping all weekend too. Also, Snoop Dogg, as you know, has dropped a new album too, Back on Death Row. And that album has a lot of features on it, like T.I., Sleepy Brown, Nate Dogg, The Baby, The Game, Nas, and more. So here is a snippet of Snoop Dogg. And this song is featuring The Baby called Pop Pop.
He think he out of that. And I know you ain't with it. Pop, 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 I did it. He think he out of that. And I know you ain't with it. Pop, pop, pop.
Okay.
Now, he also, by the way, has an NFT.
Is that on his own label, Death Row, or not yet?
I'm not sure if it's, but he did an NFT project. So his Back on Death Row NFT project is with blockchain gaming company Gala Games. So it has a 17-track album, and then it also has a one-of-a-kind digital stash box that's available for purchase. So that exclusive sale does end on Sunday, Super Bowl Sunday, and that's that. So they're saying that he believes that this will be a game changer in the music industry. Snoop said, if anything is constant, it's that the music industry will always be changing. Blockchain tech has the power to change everything again and tip the table in favor of the artists and the fans. And we're going to be right at the front of the pack with this Gala music deal. So there's only 25,000 Snoop stash boxes, and they're priced at $5,000 each. There's a total of 1,470 NFTs of each song, and each stash box will get one of the 17-track NFT tracks from Snoop's album.
Okay. Shout out to Snoop.
Is that confusing for everybody? Okay.
A little bit. But.
And Juicy J and Wiz Khalifa have released their collaborative album today. It's called Stoner's Night. And here is Testin'.
Why they testing my dates? These keep testing my dates. Why they testing my dates? These keep testing my dates. Won't set me up, made my own way, ain't let me up. I'm always wake, don't gotta send nobody else to wake me up. Don't wake me up, don't wake me up. I'm on my grind, don't deal with comfort. Rolling up another one. What they say, do what I want.
All right. Y'all excited for... Yeah, that's always fun to roll up to and listen to those too. Mm-hmm. All right. Also, I'm sure you guys have seen Nicki Minaj, of course, featuring Lil Baby and Bustin'. That's out. Saweetie featuring her. Also, Closer, and Mozzie featuring Roddy Ricch. And I don't know if you saw this press conference that Yo Gotti had, also CMG Records. They had a press conference yesterday, and that's the imprint that's founded by Yo Gotti, CMG. And they did announce that Mozzie is joining CMG during this press conference.
Okay.
So congratulations to them. Yo Gotti also said they have a collaborative album coming out on February 18th. So get ready for that.
All right.
All right, y'all. That is all your new music for today, and that is your rumor report.
Okay, thank you, Miss Yee. Now, I thought somebody else's album came out too that I was looking at too. But all right, shout out to Snoop, shout out to Mary. All right, now, also, of course,
Snot has an album out today too.
Okay. And also, Monday is Valentine's Day. So if you haven't, I'm just reminding you, get your flowers, get your edible arrangements, get your whatever you're going to get.
Get your edibles.
Make sure
you can't
edibles.
get too high though, because it's Monday. You gotta go to work on
That's
the next
right.
day. Damn.
So make sure you get everything that you need to get. Get your gifts, all that. Fellas, don't forget. Sometimes we get caught up with life and Super Bowl weekend, but you don't want to be stuck outside Monday. All right.
And you don't gotta break the bank either. That's the other thing people need to know, man. Valentine's Day is about love.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Unless you're trying to finesse her. If you're trying to finesse it, then you break the bank. You know what I mean?
You break the bank.
And remember, experiences together are always an amazing gift. So if you can choose to do something that y'all do together as an experience, that's amazing.
And if you don't plan to be around for the summer, man, make sure you get her something nice. That's a nice parting gift. That's the least you could do.
Okay. All right. Well, the People's Choice Mix is up next. Get your request in 800-585-1051. It's The Breakfast Club. Good morning.
The Breakfast Club. Your mornings will never be the same.
Our audible pick of the day is Deepak Chopra's Mind, Body, Zone. In this podcast, Deepak talks with guests like John Batiste and helps listeners redefine their lives. Sign up for a free 30-day Audible trial at audible.com/Breakfast Club.
Morning, everybody. It's DJ Envy, Angela Yee, Charlamagne the Guy. We are The Breakfast Club. It's Black History Month. What are we doing, Charlamagne?
Listen, man, every day for Black History Month, we drop a daily podcast called I Didn't Know, Maybe You Didn't Either on the Black Effect iHeartRadio Podcast Network, hosted by my guy, B. Dot. And on today's episode, we will talk about the origins of the term Uncle Tom. Listen.
Welcome to Mr. Dottie's neighborhood. And we're at the home of one of the most influential saxophonists of all time, John Coltrane, right here in High Point, North Carolina. On today's episode of I Didn't Know, Maybe You Didn't Either, let's talk about a term that gets used a lot. Wrong as hell. Uncle Tom. Have you read the book, Uncle Tom's Cabin? Probably not. It was written in 1850 by Harriet Stowe. The climax of the book is when Uncle Tom is tragically beaten by his slave master because he would not tell the whereabouts of two black women who had escaped. Now that was powerful. To take that beating and let them live. Now you know the white people at that time couldn't let the power of black folk be magnified to the world when they adapted it to stage plays and minstrel shows. So how did they depict Uncle Tom? As a cornball, as a sellout, someone who wouldn't dare give up his life to save two black women, when that's exactly who Uncle Tom was. So when you call someone an Uncle Tom to try to play him or to say they ain't black enough, you sound ignorant as hell. Uncle Tom was very black. Uncle Tom was a protector. Uncle Tom gave his life so that two black women could live. We should all be as strong as Uncle Tom. I didn't know. Maybe you didn't either.
Very valuable information. Some of this stuff I be knowing, some of this stuff I didn't. But you can download I Didn't Know, Maybe You Didn't Either daily on the Black Effect iHeartRadio Podcast Network. Make sure you go subscribe to that now.
Morning, everybody. It's DJ Envy, Angela Yee, Charlamagne the Guy. We are The Breakfast Club. Then shout out to everybody out in LA. I'm in LA this weekend. Make sure you hit me on Instagram. Follow me on Instagram if you're out here. You want to party with me. I'm going to be out Friday and Saturday day party. I think Saturday I'm with Fab and Friday at Cheetahs in LA. So come hang out with me and you guys be safe. If you're coming to the Super Bowl, if you're having Super Bowl parties, just be careful out there. Don't drink and drive when the game's over. Just be safe, please.
Absolutely.
Now you got who you going for? Yee, Rams or Cincinnati?
I'm going to say Cincinnati.
Charlamagne?
Dallas Cowboys, baby. You know what I'm saying? That's who the hell I'm going for. Okay, Dallas Cowboys, DC all day. Any questions?
You don't even need to watch.
What about you, Envy?
I want to see Odell get one. Honestly, I want to see the Rams win. I want to see Odell get one. They did Odell dirty, so I would love to see Odell get a ring. But I'm kind of like Charlamagne. I don't care, but I would love to see.
I am a Dallas Cowboy fan.
That means nothing, sir.
Don't play with us.
I know.
Next year is our year. We gonna win. We're gonna absolutely win the Super Bowl next year.
We should get a compilation of every year since we started the show of him saying
It'll
that.
be 11 years. Next year's our year. Next year's our year. Next year's our year.
And guess what? One year I'm a hit.
One year I'm a hit.
All right.
Sound like the old lady that
one year I'm a hit.
Played a lot all the time. One time I'm a hit.
That's right.
Well, it'll probably be when they change their name because they're gonna have to change their name at some point.
You think so?
Yep.
Yeah, the Cowboys.
Yeah, it's too. I think Cowboys too American for them to ever do that. America will push back on that too much before they do that.
Yeah, because Cowboys. They're not gonna change the Cowboys. Why would they need to change the Cowboys?
And then what does that say about the movie?
Cowboys is a racist or something?
Yeah, but then what does that say about the movie Brokeback Mountain? That movie means too much to American culture. They were cowboys.
How many times have you watched that movie? I'm just curious.
None actually. Seen bits and pieces. I saw when they was in the tent.
Cap.
I saw when it first started popping off.
That's it. You know what, man? What's the positive note?
What did? I saw that part.
Okay.
Leave us on a positive note, man.
Listen, man, the positive note is simply this, man. It's the weekend. For everybody who's not in LA for the Super Bowl, just know sometimes happiness looks like staying home, minding your business, telling people no, and doing you on the couch.
Breakfast Club, bitches!
Y'all finished or y'all done?